Coming up on this episode of the Spiro podcast. I've seen discussions on this on the various Facebook groups and whatnot that it seems like, and again, no scientific evidence to prove this out, but it seems like when you are serving realtors that don't like to spend money, they're even more picky than the higher end agents that maybe are doing luxury listings that are paying you top dollar.
Welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Craig and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform that was designed to help you manage your day-to-day business, but more importantly, help you scale. Well, assuming that's one of your goals. I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast. Welcome back to another week. This is going to be a part 2 of a small short series on attracting good team members and good clients. But before we dive into that, let me introduce the co-host and Spiro founder and owner, Todd Craig. It's a beautiful morning as we're recording this, Todd.
It is, Craig. We're a little bit of an off morning here, so it feels a little weird. Yeah. But it is a beautiful fall morning here in Ohio. So it's good to be on here. And we've heard from a lot of you lately. It's so great to hear from you all. So thank you for reaching out to us. And we just really appreciate the support.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's just dive right in. I know a lot of our viewers and clients liked when we can just kind of get to the point. So let's get to it. Spiro, we like to always introduce some Spiro updates on what's new with the software. So Todd, what's going on with Spiro right now?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Craig. So with Spiro, you are going to get some fabulous updates this week. So typically they come on Wednesday. So I think this Wednesday this week, you will be getting the revamp of the reshoot process. So this is a way, this is a way that you can add quickly an appointment. So the reshoot button is going to go away and you're going to get a new button that will allow you to add an appointment. You can select what services you want from the original appointment. You can add an ad hoc custom service. That's something like reshoot the master bedroom. You can assign it a photographer, assign a task, payment, things like that. And you can button that all up very quickly and easily and add that second appointment. And the big and here is that all of the appointments will flow through to the same property website. So we know you don't want multiple websites. So that's an exciting time coming up there for the reshoot process. Along with that, you're going to get a couple of other goodies with being able to run a report up to 1 year in length. So right now it's limited at 3 months. So now you can get a whole year. And this is perfect timing for coming into the end of the year so that you can see what your business has done. Now you can do it before. You just have to combine a couple reports. But it's going to be easier for you, and that's why we're here for you. So excited about that. And then also looking at adding in some new functionality with when you're able to alert your next client in the photographer portal. So we're going to give you the ability right now when you check into appointment number 1, that's when the system notifies appointment number 2. Some of you are like, well, I don't really love doing that because I need to go up and see that the house is in proper order. And so we're going to decouple those 2 functions. And when you check in, you don't have to send a text message. You could wait until you're in the house. Then you just hit that button, that notify button, and it will send it when you want it to. So, and again, this is all feedback, Craig, based from the feedback board. And this is like a top-down mentality here of the most users per request. We look at those, and we want to give you guys features that work for you all and that make your day-to-day workflow quicker and easier.
You know, I in the Facebook Super Spiro users or Spiro Super Users group, yeah, that's a mouthful. I've noticed people talking about features that they want to see, and members talking amongst themselves about, hey, have you mentioned it? Because the what's the phrase? The squeaky wheel gets
the wheel,
gets the grease, or the. So you guys are recognizing that we want to prioritize what you need. So yeah, that feature is there for you. And again, how can they access that feedback board, Todd?
Yes, once you're logged into Spiro, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little feedback button. Just hover on that, and then there's a link in there that takes you to the feature-based board that we subscribe to. Excellent.
And if you don't have a Spiro account, it's absolutely free to sign up. We don't charge you anything for having a Spiro account. Just go to spiro.media and you can sign up right there. It's super easy. And don't we give them like 20 free credits or
Yeah, they even get 20 free credits to play around with. You can use that on a listing or the merge fleet. So go in there and have fun and give it a try.
Okay. Excellent. Well, those are exciting updates, and we'll keep those rolling out to you. Keep us primed and give us your ideas, because this is to serve you. It was originally to serve our real estate media company, Wow Video Tours, and we realized, you know what, this could help other people. So we're here to serve you guys because we're in the same industry, right?
Yep.
Yeah, excellent. All right. Well, there's the updates for the week. Vegas, some conferences coming up, Todd.
Yes, so it's coming soon now. So November 12th, my team and I were flying out, and we'll be there till the 16th. So if you're going to Vegas, if you're going to the rep conference, that's Eli Jones, or PMRE, that's Brandon Cooper, or going to both, I will be at both. My teams will be at both. So come and find me and say hello. I'd love to meet you in person. I am the big, tall guy with probably something bright pink on. So come and find me. It'd be great to meet you guys in person. I know I've talked to you guys a lot. We've done Zooms, but it's still not the same.
Right.
Part of the experience of going out to Vegas, the speakers are great, but part of the experience is after and in between, when you can connect with other colleagues of yours, and you can share stories. You can help coach other people and get coached yourself. So long story short, come find me. We'll be there, and we'll be just looking forward to connecting with you in Vegas.
Absolutely. And if there's no pictures of the pink suit, it didn't happen, Todd.
Yeah.
Somebody that comes, if he's in a pink suit, send me a photo of this, because I think I have some payback coming for the Post Malone tattoo Photoshop job.
You do owe me one. Yeah. You know those pink marshmallows? Don't they make pink marshmallows like around Easter time?
Yeah.
Spring.
Like
that's
peeps?
Gonna be, yes, that's going to be me. So it's okay.
Fun stuff. All right.
Oh, also, Craig.
Yeah.
I threw this idea out there, and I just have to throw it out there to y'all.
Okay.
We talked about, so on my Tech Talk with Todd, which is the first and the third Thursday at 4:30 Eastern on the Spiro Super User Group. So come on in there. I'm in there to connect with you all. I had some free talk, and I was just throwing out the idea. I was like, anyone who want to come to Ohio in January?
Did you get crickets for an answer?
No, actually, people, they're like, yeah, I'd come out. Like,
seriously?
That'd be great. Yes.
Who wants to come to Ohio in January?
It's beautiful, Craig. It's all white and gray and brown from the mud and the snow. But I don't know. It's like, I love connecting with you all. Yeah. And now we'll get our fair share in Vegas. But I thought, man, it'd be cool if we pick one of our cities that's close to an airport, Cincinnati or Columbus. We do a Spiro Summit. I think JD came up with that name, Spiro Summit.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. Email me, hello@spiro.media. Is that interesting? I don't even know. This is just a whim right now.
I'd come down for that.
Thank you, Craig.
I'd come down for it. Columbus.
Well, that would actually be cool. Yeah, it'd be great to have you there.
Yeah. No, it'd be fun. I mean, Columbus is only 2 hours from where I'm at. So good stuff. Some good restaurants there. Yeah. Columbus is a good time. All right. Well, keep us posted. And yeah, if you're interested, let Todd know. hello@spiro.media.
Yeah.
Spiro Summit in January in Ohio.
Come on. It's great. What's better? We'll go sledding after all the sessions.
Well, if there's snow.
Yeah, true.
If there's snow. Is there any hill? Well, Cincinnati has hills. You come up to Northwest Ohio, it's flat as a pancake. You're lucky to find a hill. So when I was in a quick story, and then we'll dive in. But speaking of hills, this is how flat Northwest Ohio is. So when I was in college, I went to this little college called Cedarville College. It's about, I don't know, a half hour east and south, a little bit of Dayton. And I was driving to church one morning, and I had another student from the university that was coming, or the college that was coming with me, and she was from West Virginia. And as we were driving down this road, it was going through some hills. It was between Cedarville and Xenia, Ohio. And there's some beautiful hills, and the sun was coming up. There's a little bit of fog. It was just a gorgeous scene. And I made a comment, and I said, man, these hills are just so beautiful. And her head whips around. Those of you her head whips around. She's like, hills? What hills? I'm like, these hills that we're driving through right now. And she starts laughing at me. I'm like, what? She goes, oh, honey. No, she wasn't my girlfriend. It was just, this is the way she talked.
West
honey.
Virginia, yeah.
Right. These aren't hills. I'll show you hills. And then it clicked. Oh, yeah, you're from West Virginia. I guess these aren't hills to you. But I still remember just the way her head whipped around and started laughing at me. Anyway, okay. I found it funny. I don't know if you guys
They're
did,
hills for us Ohioans.
Right. Okay, let's enough of that. Let's dive into this week's topic on the Spiro podcast. So last week, again, we talked about how to attract good team members and also good clients. And last week we talked all about attracting great team members, whether they're employees or contractors. This week we want to talk about how do you attract good clients? The question of attracting clients, period, is one that a lot of us can, find a challenge in. But how do you attract good clients? Can you attract good clients, or is it what it is? So that's what we want to dive into this week, Todd.
Yeah, Craig, the idea of attracting the good client, I think in our industry, there's a couple things that come to mind as to where there's some behaviors and some marketing tactics that would potentially lead to clients that aren't so good. And just the thing off the top of my head is that and I know this is going to be controversial because a lot of you do it, and I'm not saying that we don't do it, but I think we have not seen as much success with a free offer. Just a carte blanche, free offer, trying to give the house away for your first time to get someone in. We have found at our company that has worked at times. It's pinpointed when we use it, though. It's not just anyone and everyone, and it's not in an office setting. We've A/B tested this a lot. We've tried, let's walk into this office where we don't have relationships, and let's try to get relationships and let everybody try us, and here's free. And then we've tried the same city, same type of office where we don't have relationships. Hey, here is our summer promo. You can get up to 50% off. And it's sold much better.
Really?
It has, yeah. And that honestly went against my grain of thinking, because I thought, well, let's pitch them like, hey, just try us. It was a city we were new in. We're new in town. We want you to see the difference, see the value. And I don't know what it was. And free might work for you all out there, but it just didn't work for us. And if you have someone that takes you up on a free offer, that person, we find, generally is always looking for something free. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Craig?
Well, I'm thinking back to when I first started my business, and I gave away 2 shoots to start because I was a nobody, right? I won't say I was brand new to photography, but I was brand new to real estate photography for sure. And it was the sellers were actually the youth pastors at our church. And I approached them because I knew they were getting ready to move. They were making some changes in their life. And I asked them if I could. I didn't understand how the whole industry worked, that you have to really deal with the realtor, not the sellers. So I approached them and told them what I was looking to do in starting this business. And I needed to start to build a portfolio. And hey, could I shoot, your house photos for you? And they're like, oh, wow. Yeah, well, that would be awesome. But you'll have to talk to our realtor. So I'm like, oh, okay. So immediately I'm starting to learn, okay, this is how this works. So I got the realtor's name. I had never met her before, but approached her and, introduced myself, explained who I was and what I was looking to do. And she's like, oh, well, I normally don't have someone do the photos for me. I just take them myself. But yeah, you can take them. And she was probably thinking, if I don't like them, I could just take my own photos still. So I took them, and I did that twice. And what's funny is thinking about giving away photos, those are the only two houses that I ever gave away a free shoot for. Mm-hmm. And I think she only used us maybe 2 more times after I started charging, and she went back to doing her own photos.
Yeah.
So she wasn't even the type of person that really appreciated, or understood the value of professional photography. Mm-hmm. So I think when you give yourself away, yeah, it is going to be somewhat controversial, Todd. Because my take on it is, if you don't value yourself, nobody else is going to value you either. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you're not charging anything, even just to try and get started, subconsciously that realtor might be thinking, well, I wouldn't give away my services. You must not be that good, because if you were decent, you'd be charging me. Can I prove that out? Probably no.
Yeah, and I think it's different for different stages of your business. And I know a very popular method is what Eli Jones teaches with the Instagram method, and he has a humongous proven track record of new individuals getting their business off the ground, mm-hmm. getting to 5, 10, 15K a month by starting their business with that method. Now, there's different methods that I know he teaches with the outbound method and some other ways of selling. So I'm not saying it doesn't work, because it does. And I see the results of it. And I think there's a time and a place for it. And I think it needs to be pinpointed. And maybe that's the thing, just speaking out loud, Craig, here, kind of digesting all of this, is that it's pinpointed in that message to a realtor as to where not everybody gets it. The difference with that is when we walk into a real estate office and there's 20 agents there, or 40 agents sitting there, and you say, hey, everybody gets something for free. I think when everybody hears that everybody else gets it, they begin to go, wait a minute, is there something up with this offer? Is there something fishy about this? So, and we give away free things, but it's always thought about. It's always given in a way that we've put some time and energy and thought into what would giving this away get us in the end.
Right. Yeah. If you're just starting out and you need to build a portfolio, you might give away a couple of free shoots just so you have something to start showing future potential clients. There was something I was going to say, and now it just blanked. It flew out of my head, Todd. Oh yeah, I know what it was. Giving away things for free doesn't communicate value necessarily, but you could really kind of say the same thing for racing to the bottom on price. If you're going to be the cheapest one in town, I've seen discussions on this on the various Facebook groups and whatnot, that it seems like, and again, no scientific evidence to prove this out, but it seems like when you are serving realtors that don't like to spend money, they're even more picky than the higher end agents that maybe are doing luxury listings that are paying you top dollar, that they know you're the professional, and they don't seem to bug you as much. They don't bother you with, nitpicking little things, because they trust you. You're charging them a premium, and you're delivering excellent work, and you can deliver excellent work to those that, that are not premium listings. But it seems like there's a mentality difference between the agents that are more cost conscious versus those that are willing to invest in their business and invest in their marketing. I think you get a different type of client on both of those. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. And I think one area that I learned over the years, and I screwed up on this when I was younger, is the fact that I would see what the market was doing, and I would say, well, I'm going to be just a little bit less than. And the thing I didn't realize is that tactic doesn't work. You don't want to look at your competition and go 10 and 15% lower in price
Hmm.
because you're just going to attract. I think that is a recipe for attracting bad clients.
Okay.
And you're, like you mentioned, Craig, you're racing to the bottom, but you haven't really discerned what is going to differentiate you from that competition.
Right.
And it all boils down to this, and I'm going to say a word we say probably the most on here, but it all comes back down to that relationship. And I wish I really knew that when I was younger, because I would do the math and say, can I do it a little bit less? And I love efficiencies and I love scale. So I would find ways to save money, but I didn't realize that that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you think about it, Craig, so let's put ourselves in the shoes of a realtor.
Okay.
And a realtor's listing a house, and let's say they're listing a $500,000 house. Now, in 2024, this isn't some outrageous house anymore. I mean, this is a very nice house in our area. In some areas throughout the world, this is not a nice house.
Mm.
But let's just, for simple math, it's a $500,000. That agent is going to make an industry average of about 3%. Okay, so they're going to make $15,000 on this house when it sells. Now they're going to split that with their broker and they're going to keep some of that. And they have other expenses. I'm not saying they put $15,000 in their pocket. But if you think about a typical average order value of what we see, $250 versus say you come in 10% lower, $25 lower at $225, is the agent going to risk saving $25 to potentially send you into a house as an unknown where they can make $15,000, they can bring $15,000 of revenue into their business? Like it just doesn't line up. Like
Right.
they would never take that risk of saying, oh, let me try to save a couple $100 here so that I jeopardize my $15,000 commission because I'm going to send in somebody I haven't vetted and who knows whether they're going to show up to my homeowners. Like it just doesn't connect.
Yeah.
In the life of a realtor, it just doesn't connect. They see the marketing as a very important part. In fact, that's how they get more $15,000 checks.
Right.
They market their current listings to get new listings. So that kind of debunked the idea of this race to the bottom and let me underprice myself mentality.
Right.
And we saw the turn, and when we started to hear from our clients how we help their business, like in a partnership, and like, oh, I can do this with it and I can do that with it. You guys are always on time and you're always there when I need you and you're always so quick to respond and you're always so helpful. And we heard, at least with our clients, that our clients focused way more on that than price.
Mm-hmm.
We would send out a survey every year and we would survey them in many different areas. And price always came back as it was, yeah, I'm not unhappy, I'm not happy. And we're good with that answer. We don't ever want, no one's ever gonna be like, oh, I'm so happy what I'm paying for your service.
Right.
Or no, and you're gonna get somebody who always is like, well, yeah, I'm gonna answer that. I always want this service lower. It's just the law of supply and it's economics at that point.
Mm-hmm.
If your agents go, yeah, I'm not unhappy or happy, like I'm satisfied with the price, and then they're rating you high in customer satisfaction and value, which is different than price, rating you high in quality, rating your customer service high, you know you have a package that works for realtors. So we had found in those surveys that the price wasn't the thing that was the hinge for people to use us or not use us. It was just the fact that we needed to relay the information as to how realtors would be impacted by our services better.
Yeah. I think you can tie the idea and the concept of value back into relationship, which is what we seem to preach over and over and over on this podcast. Is relationship is key in building a good, solid real estate media business, because it goes back to that sales mantra, for lack of a better word, of people buy from people they know, like, and trust, and trust being huge. So how do you build trust if you don't even have a relationship? Well, you got to get to know them, and then you got to get them to like you and do it in a in an honest, what's the word I'm looking for? Authentic way.
Authentic. Yeah.
Yeah. And different people do that in different ways. Me, if you've listened to the podcast before, I like coffee meetings, but I'm an introvert and I like one-on-one relationship building. If you put me in a big party atmosphere, like Vegas, I'm the wallflower. I'm the one it's harder for me to engage, but I can engage all day long in a one-on-one coffee meeting. In fact, can I share a quick story that actually involves one of our Spiro users and a podcast watcher? So Sean of Spacecraft Media, right? I just blanked out.
Wealth and Candor. He changed his name.
He changed it. That's right.
Yes.
I even saw his email address change. So yeah, Sean reached out to us and said, "Hey, I've got this client of mine in my market that is looking for an investment property in your market." And Todd said, "Well, yeah, talk to Craig. That's the area he manages." And I know Sean. So Sean and I connected and we started talking. And this client, wanted to invest in a property in Toledo and said, "Do you have anybody that you could suggest to my client? Any realtors that she could work with in trying to find something?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know a lot of people." I said, "Let me put some feelers out though and find somebody that, is a rental income specialist." So I reached out to about, I think it was 6 or 7 different realtors and got some interest. And I can do rental incomes. I said, "Great, I'm going to pass your information along to to my colleague." And he'll pass it on to their client. And one person said, "No, I don't specialize in that, but I have another realtor in our brokerage that does, and she does a fantastic job," and gave me her name. And this is someone that's not currently a client of ours. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Perfect, awesome." Went ahead and sent her name, but I reached out to her as well and introduced myself and said, "Hey, Tom referred you to me, and here's what's going on." Explain the situation of this realtor in Sean's market. And she wrote back, "Wow, thank you so much. Even if I don't get the business, I really appreciate you, passing my name along." And I said, "Absolutely. If Tom suggested you, I know I can trust that you're going to be a great referral for this person to consider." And I said, "You and I have never met, and I've heard your name before, but I've never had the chance to get to know you or meet you or anything. Would you be open to meeting for coffee? My treat. I'd love to get to know you and get to know your business and your time at this brokerage, because this particular brokerage is a newer one in our market. And introduce myself and video tours a little bit more." And she said, "Absolutely, I would love to hear more about you guys." She was just totally open, and it all started because of relationship building. And for me, who's not super outgoing, it was a very easy conversation. And it's because I did something for her. Well, of course she's going to want to reciprocate and be open to hearing more about WOW, but also telling me more about herself and her business. And I always couch it in the fact of, "Hey, I want to learn more about you and learn about your real estate business. I love hearing people's stories. And I really do. I love hearing people's personal stories. And then I can just kind of wrap in, well, here's my story. Here's what I do and what I'm really enjoy doing and I'm passionate about. And maybe we can find some synergy. I just used a business buzzword, Todd, that I swear I don't do. I had this job one time where I had this inside sales manager that used every business buzzword in the book to the point where as an inside I shouldn't admit this. As an inside sales team, we actually started secretly playing business buzzword bingo. And every time he would use one of those words in a department meeting, we'd have our little bingo board. We would see who would win.
Oh, that's so hilarious.
And I swore I would never use business buzzwords like that. Anyway, synergy. There's your business buzzword for the day, people. Where was I? I don't know. So I actually have a meeting right after the recording of this podcast with this realtor, and I might get her business, I might not, but I'm looking forward to it and getting to know her. And it all started just with building relationship. And that's how you attract good clients, is you make it a win-win situation. It's not all about you getting their business, but what can you do for them? How can they win? And how can it be a win for you as well? Mm-hmm. So just keeping things positive, being helpful, serving others, your business will grow. You'll get referrals, and referrals are the best, I'm convinced, are the best way to build good business and attract really good clients.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. And we've seen that over the years. And that is something that, I think in saying that, so my method of selling, if you will, is, so I prefer the larger events. I prefer the events. I prefer the meetings. I prefer the presentations.
Yep.
And so when I hear a story like, oh, a one-on-one coffee, my brain goes originally like, oh, that's too slow for me. And then I have to knock myself out of it, hit myself in the brain, like how our CD players used to skip and you'd have to hit it and it'd keep playing. And I'd have to get it in my brain. I don't want any of you to discount the fact of building relationships one-on-one. Like if you have these huge goals, and I had a couple that emailed in and they're a husband and wife team and they're like, hey, we are obsessed with scaling. Can we talk to you about scaling? I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to you about scaling. So I'm going to talk to them actually today, I think. But the thing that I'm going to start with is you have to. So I love this analogy. And I gave this to my 12-year-old last night because we were talking about some things that he's working on. So if you are here and think of it like the left side of a yardstick, okay? So you're at 0 and you want to get to there. Your big goal is the end of the yardstick away. How do you get from here to there? 0 to 3 feet. Okay. Think of it as dominoes. Can you set up one domino in the middle and then tip your first domino over to get that last domino knocked over? No, you can't. You're going to tip over that first domino. It's going to fall flat at 2 inches, and the middle domino and the end domino is still going to be standing. Your goal is still going to be there. You're not going to tip it over. You have got to set up a domino every half inch, quarter inch, whatever it is. But those are all interactions that you do every day. And you have to build those relationships, and one-on-one will grow way faster than you all think. And trust me, my brain immediately goes, oh, just give me a room of 50 people. Give me a Zoom of 50 people. Like I'll just get on there. I'll bring some energy. I'll say some corny jokes. I'll be sincere, and then I'll get 50 people. No, it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. That can work. But you build your business one client at a time, and you build a solid relationship one client at a time. Our number one agent, she was a number one agent in Ohio for many years, many, many, many years. She came to me through a referral. I tried to call her a million times. I tried to email her a million times. I tried to give her everything, including my house, to use me. Okay. Cindy never called me back. Shelly told Cindy about Todd. Cindy called me. And I've told this story before. I remember I was in the upstairs of a loft at a house, and Cindy's calling my phone. Yes, I had her keyed into my phone. Okay. I get, maybe it's a little creeperish, but I wanted to know, I had her keyed into my phone. Right. She's calling me. This is the number one agent in Ohio. Like, this is the big dog. She's calling me, and she's like, oh, and she was so friendly. She's the kindest person on the face of the earth. I love her, love her, love her. And she's like, oh, Shelly had such good things. I've got a couple listings coming up. Can you shoot a few of them? I'm like, sure. She's like, yeah, I have 7 of them. Can you come in next Tuesday?
Nice.
And it was done. It was done. Like, it was that referral, because I built that relationship with Shelly. It automatically, so your one coffee meeting, the point I'm trying to make, and I'm not doing the greatest job at, but your one coffee meeting will spread like you don't realize. And I spent a lot of time with Shelly, who was referred to by Bob. And I spent a ton of time with Bob. And I built really, really good relationship with Bob and Shelly. And those two were out there having my coffee meetings for me. Yep. So I took the time to have 2 really good coffee meetings, and then I would nurture them. When I would shoot for them, I would do what they would need. And then they did all my meetings for me.
Building raving fans.
Yes.
Raving fans will market you.
They will. And then once Cindy started using me, and this ties into the presentation I'm going to give in Vegas about broker deals. And this is the one thing you all ask me. How do I get a broker deal? Well, I'm telling you through this story, like the broker deal, the dominoes at 3 feet, you're at 0 right now. You need to set up a lot of dominoes to get to 3 feet. But what happened was I built all those relationships, and there was relationships in between Shelly and Cindy. There was other relationships. But anyways, long story short, once I got to Cindy, that set up so many dominoes that I didn't even realize. And it got me to the managing broker of the company that we have a brokership deal with for 11 years, that we've probably done many, many millions of dollars in revenue with over those 11 years.
Right. Because
I had a few really good relationships that created raving fans that got me to the number one. Just get the top 10, you're good. It's the same difference. You get enough higher up agents to use you, that managing broker at the company will go, oh, wait a minute. I've heard you all say this name enough.
Yep.
And they'll want to meet with you. And again, that managing broker emailed me. And again, I emailed him plenty of times. I tried to give him everything away. He didn't want it. At that point, it doesn't matter. At the time, there was 300 agents. They have 550 agents now. You're not going to give that man anything that's going to make him think that he should use you. You have to earn it. Yeah. That's what business is all about. It's really this simple, but it takes one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and you have to go little by little.
Let me play devil's advocate real quick, Todd. So yes. We both started our businesses in markets that 20 years ago, the idea of professional real estate media was almost unheard of. Mm-hmm. So you didn't necessarily have a ton of competition, so to speak, other than getting realtors to think past shooting their own really bad photos.
Right.
Me, many years later, 2017 is when I started my business. My market, there were some real estate photographers, but they were solo shooters and they were only doing photos. There was no video. If they were doing drone, they were probably hiring another company. So it was a similar situation for me where I was able to grow fairly quickly because I didn't have a ton of competition. I got out of the business for a year and a half or so. And when I got back in, when I joined the WOW team, it was a different market. There was probably 2 or 3 other larger competitors that were now doing similar things to what we were. And I found that it wasn't quite as easy to land new clients or even necessarily get old clients back that had wandered to these other companies. So what would you say to the person that is listening right now that's just starting their business and they're going, Todd, this is easy for you to say. This sounds like, oh yeah, I'm just going to grow so fast. In the reality of the market that we're in today, where there are a lot of real estate photographers and real estate media companies out there, what would you say to the person that's still having a little bit of a challenge and can't quite get past that mentality of, oh, I'm too small to stand a chance against the big dogs?
I love this question. This is the perfect question, Craig. Stop focusing on what you cannot control and focus on what you can control. Back in 2004, I couldn't control that video wasn't played on the internet. We were on dial-up internet. What idiot in his right mind tries to sell a product to someone that nobody can use? Like, I'm telling you, like,
how did you pull that off, Todd?
I loved video. I loved it so much that I would say, hey, it's fine. Just click on it. Come back 30 minutes later and you can watch the video. That's what I told him, Craig. But my excitement for it.
Yes. That.
I knew it could work for them.
Excitement for what you do is infectious to others. I've been able to honestly look someone in the eye and say, I love what I do. And the response, 9 times out of 10, the response I get, Todd, is I can tell. And they want to be partnered with enthusiasm and excitement and positive thinking. Truly love what you do. If you don't really love what you do, it's going to be hard to sell it. For lack of a better word, it's going to be, yes, you're selling your services, but if you're not enthused, if you don't really enjoy your work, your work will show that, and your demeanor will definitely show that. And that's not infectious. That's not going to attract the type of clients that you really want to attract.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It's all about that mindset, like you said, Craig. And you have to be, there's some simple things that I've learned over the years, and I see you've learned and you do, we all do, Craig, but it's keeping the thoughts high and keeping things positive.
Yeah.
And again, when you're positive, you keep your thoughts high. You don't focus on what you don't have. You focus on what you have.
That's good.
And you're excited about that. And I think, along the ways, I've had a lot of mentors, and I have this fabulous team around me now, and we pick each other up and push each other along. I have a coach as well. So I'm not saying that you need a coach, or you probably do need a mentor. You need someone. Life is lonely at the top. Like if you're the owner of your company, it's very lonely. You're not going to turn to anyone and get like a pity party from them. And if they do, it's going to be somewhat, and think of it like, no disrespect, but they're an employee of yours. Like, why are they feeling sorry for you? Like, they're going to be like, well, what is this? They're going to lose confidence in your business. So
yes. Yep.
It's so important to focus on what you have, sell what you have, and don't worry about it. If you're so focused that there's 300 other real estate photographers in your city, then you should probably, and I say this with love from my heart, you should probably just do something different. Or get off the fact that you have this pity party for yourself and just go do the things that we talk about that you can find out on the internet. This is business. This is honestly pretty basic business stuff. Yeah. And I think for a lot of us, we would think that it won't apply to us because we were in a different industry. Like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. And Eli Jones tells this story really well, where it's like, well, my business is different. You all listen to you listen to us, you need to listen to other podcasts, and the other podcasts might not be specific about real estate photography. And you go, oh, well, that doesn't apply to me because I'm a real estate photographer. No, that all applies to you.
Well, I don't know, what else to say about the topic on how to attract good clients. I mean, I've kind of covered everything I can think of. I had one client, Todd, that, I don't know if I even want to tell that story. She wasn't my favorite client. It's a situation where the client doesn't value you. And I still did the best job I could for them. But they've kind of faded away. You don't want to spend too much energy on clients that don't value you. Still take the best care of them that you can, but I wouldn't expend extra energy to try and appease what might be, really kind of unrealistic expectations that might have of you.
For sure. Yeah.
Spend your energy where it's going to be valued and appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a client that was one of my first clients, literally 20 years with us. And she doesn't do a lot of listings. We hear from her maybe every other year. And when we do, it's very difficult. And we finally just made the call. And Chris was like, hey, I don't think we can make you happy. We're so sorry. I don't think we can make you happy. And she's like, yeah, probably not. And he's like, I really appreciate the time. And, you need a referral and it was done. And when we told the story back here at the conference table, you could just see the weight lifted off the face of people. Like, oh, like, honestly, we tracked the hours. It was 4 hours of man hours on the phone and on email. That wasn't at the shoot. It was 4 hours attending to the calls, to the changes she wanted. And we were just like, we need to make this call. So that's not 100% what this podcast is about, but it was about attracting good clients. And then sometimes you just have to say, hey, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can really please you, give you what you want.
And in the long run, that's efficiency for you. Is it going to cost you more to keep that client than to let them go?
Yep. It's our pumpkin plan again, Craig.
Yeah. What's funny is I just got an email from Amazon of trying Audible for the first time, and you get an audiobook version of the Pumpkin Plan for free.
Nice.
And I didn't respond to that yet. I might have to do that. So anyway,
that's
you saying the Pumpkin Plan made me think of that.
Yeah. For those of you that are like, what are you talking about? It's by Mike Michalowicz, and it's called The Pumpkin Plan, or Pumpkin Planning. If you type in Mike and Pumpkin in Amazon, it's going to come up.
I'll put a link in the show notes for that as well. No, we're not getting any sort of sponsorship from Amazon or anything for mentioning that. It's just a good book.
We're not even getting our 12 cents on that click. We don't do that either. We just want to help you guys. So
yeah.
But
well, good stuff. I think that's going to wrap it up this week, Todd, unless you have any other closing thoughts.
Just my last request is, what do you guys need? Continue to send us. We want to hear from you guys. And I think one thing that is interesting to all of us as we talk here on the Spiro side is the fact that we're building this community. And it's neat to see you guys converse in the group. But what do you guys need as a community? Do you need an accountability? Do you need a coach? Do you need someone to turn to? I don't know what you need. You tell me what you need. And if it's something that we can create or we can put together or we can connect, maybe we can connect you with someone in opposite markets who's of the like size, or maybe someone who's a step ahead of you in like mentorship. I don't know what it is. I'm honestly making this up as I tell you right now. But the idea of knowing what you all want and what's in your head, like, I want to know that. Like, that just fascinates me and that excites me. So email me, hello@spiro.media. Let me know what your business needs. What would make your job easier? Where do you feel there's a gap in your business? If I just had this one thing, I could grow so much bigger. Let me know what that is.
Right. Or if there's a specific topic that you need more information on, whether it's business insurance or accounting or, any of the...
Craig, of all the topics you pick... Wait a minute. This is
a legitimate business question. We've had listeners ask it before. I stand by it, Todd.
Okay.
These are real business questions. We've even done some podcasts on them.
Yeah.
See, people, Todd is my boss, but I'm not backing down on this one. Business insurance, accounting.
All the fun topics that you guys have, business insurance or accounting or...
Hey, when I started my first business, I was the type of person, I always worked for somebody else. I never bothered to learn about any of that stuff. So the prospect of starting your own business, those are valid questions. I got to learn about this stuff.
Yeah, so I take this all back. I'm sorry. If you have those questions, I'm not saying that they're bad questions.
Watch them backpedal, people.
I'm just saying, of all the like buzzwords that Craig could have used, like how to grow and scale to $1 million, and like he's like, let's talk about business insurance.
We are not clickbaity podcasters.
No, we're actually probably really terrible podcasters with the algorithm and all that. We're probably doing it all wrong, but we're hearing from you guys and we're loving it. So that's all that matters.
We do like to laugh, people. Just got to be real about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I'm just a guy in Northwest Ohio that I've worked in many different jobs, and I can't take myself too seriously. All right. We totally derailed that.
There's nobody listening right now. At least we enjoyed it. No one else. Everybody else is on to the next podcast.
Right. For a Tuesday morning, it made my Tuesday. Okay, let's wrap this up. Guys, thank you so much for putting up with us, for enduring the podcast. Hopefully you found some value. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It really does help us to reach more people with just information we think is helpful to others.
Yeah.
But we really do love what we do, and appreciate you being a part of this and watching and listening. So make sure you, this week, take some time out, especially as we approach November and Thanksgiving here in the U.S. Take some time out just to be thankful for the blessings in your life, and make sure you take a breath. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.